The South African Pharmacy Council presents the third episode of its virtual podcast powered by pharmacy professionals. If you are a health professional, an aspiring pharmacy professional, or just simply want to learn, join our community and click on the subscribe button below. Please don't forget to hit on the notification icon to get notified every time we upload a new video. Please like, share, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Official SAPC. In today's episode, we will be speaking to one of the 2020 CPD experts. We will be discussing the what's, the who's, and why it is important to submit your CPDs. Our host, Ms. Neo Ramokoka, is joined by Mr. Yanus Dawood, a registered pharmacist. Mr. Dawood is one of the 2020 CPD experts who submitted 19 CPD entries. Well done, sir. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Dawood.
Thank you, Neo, for giving me the opportunity to share my CPD learning experience with my colleagues.
And now for our first question. Mr. Dawood, how important do you feel continuing professional development or CPD is in the pharmacy profession?
Critical. As healthcare professionals, it is your responsibility to ensure that patients derive maximum benefit from their treatment with medication. And this requires you to keep abreast of developments in both pharmacy practice and pharmaceutical sciences.
As you know, there are 4 steps in the CPD process, namely reflection, planning, implementation, and evaluation. Can you briefly describe your understanding of each step?
Very simply, I suggest that you go to the website and you print out the ideal CPD. Before I found the ideal CPD, I struggled quite a bit. And it's impossible to do the CPD exercise without having a printed copy of the ideal CPD next to you. I've chatted to a few of my colleagues, and none of them are aware that this document exists. So I strongly suggest that you print out the ideal CPD slides. You keep that next to you whenever you commence a CPD. Very briefly, reflection. It is identifying a learning need in your practice and why you need to learn. It should be relevant to you and your practice. Example, atopic dermatitis or iron deficiency. Keep it relevant to you. That's the important point. Again, on the slide, you will get more information. Moving on to planning. This is simply how, what, why, and when. So how exactly are you going to learn this? What are your options? Why will you do things this way? For example, what options are available? Workshops, short courses, informal talks, chatting to colleagues, chatting to people in the profession. It's also important that you have evidence to support any learning activity. And this is why I always choose measurable and structured learning CPD exercises. I've found numerous links of measurable structured learning exercises, and I'm happy to share those links with you. Moving on to implementation. Again, briefly, you need to provide the context and link it to your evidence. Example, on the 15th of May, 2021, I enrolled for a course with Pharmacy Academy. This was a 3-week course. The course had multiple choice questions at the end, and the questions were marked by an assessor, and I was given results. And after I received my results, I obtained a certificate. Moving on to D, evaluation. Here, the focus is on what you have learned and how your knowledge has changed your practice. Also, identification of further learning needs. How have you applied your learning? For example, have you drafted information leaflets for your patients? Have you drafted notes for your staff?
Thank you for the extensive explanation, Mr. Dawood. Now on to our next question. Do you feel that the current 4-step cycle works well for the purpose of CPD? That is, does it ensure continued competence in pharmacy professionals?
I think the 4 steps works perfectly well. It covers all the areas in detail.
The SAPC has been hard at work revamping the CPD system over the past few years. How easy or user-friendly did you find the online CPD system to use?
Initially, you may struggle a little bit, but the more exercises you do, the more routine it becomes. So I find it fairly easy to use, and I find it fairly user-friendly.
As a CPD expert who has submitted more than the required number of CPD entries, can you kindly let us in on the steps that you followed? Did you follow the same process for each, or have you worked out a system that works for you specifically?
I followed the same process every time. And it comes back to printing out the ideal CPD document that the council has made available on the website. You need to print that document, and you need to keep a copy of the document next to you when you start CPD. It makes your life simple.
In closing, what advice would you give to those pharmacy professionals who may feel overwhelmed by the CPD system?
Well, don't be. There's tons of resources available online. There's literally dozens of CPD websites offering very informative courses, and I suggest that you Google search for them. If you're unable to do that, I'm happy to send you some links. There's really dozens of sites available, and there's nothing to it.
Thank you for joining us, Mr. Dawood. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment down below, and let us know what you have learned or what you would love to learn. Get in touch with us. Our contact details are in the description box below. See you soon.